nonetheless surely stepped forward into the reaches of history. In doing this, his name has been remembered for all time. Oh, that history would say the same of us.
Everything. Oh, there's Veronica.
Veronica wipes the face of Jesus.
The veil?
Veronica, compelled by devotion and compassion, makes her way through the crowd and presents her veil to Jesus to wipe his face. And his holy image remains on the veil. Your face that day.
This is a really hard one.
Jesus falls the second time. A suffering Jesus, under the weight of his cross, again falls to the ground. But the cruel executioners do not permit him to rest a moment. Pushing and striking him, they urge him onward. Jesus speaks to the women of Jerusalem. A large crowd of people followed Jesus, and among them were some women who were weeping with compassion. Jesus, turning to them, said, "Daughters of Jerusalem, do not weep for me, but weep for yourselves and for your children." Jesus falls the third time. Jesus, arriving exhausted at the foot of Calvary, falls for the third
¿Estás
time.
bien?
His weakness was
Mira qué
extreme,
bonito, Rosy.
and the cruelty of his executioners was excessive. They tried to hasten his steps, but he hardly... Never falters, no matter the number of sins. He was always ready to forgive us.
Behold your mother.
Jesus is stripped of his garments. As Jesus neared the place of his crucifixion, the
Cuidado.
executioners stripped his clothes from his bleeding body.
I don't know where I want to go.
Estás mojado, Rosy. Está todo mojado.
I know.
Te quieres untar, yo
I
sé.
just want to hold on.
Ahí, aquí este está seco.
Give us all that we need through his sacrifice.
It's this one, when they nail him to the cross.
Jesus is nailed to the cross. Jesus, after being thrown on the cross, willingly extended his hands and offered to his eternal Father the sacrifice of his life for our salvation. These captors nailed his hands and feet to the cross, preparing him for his final sacrifice. Jesus dies on the cross. When they came to the place called the Skull, they crucified him and the criminals there. One on his right, the other on his left. One of the criminals hanging there reviled Jesus, saying, "Are you not the Messiah? Save yourself and us." The other, however, rebuked him and said, "Jesus, remember me when you come into your kingdom." And Jesus replied, "Amen, I say to you, today you will be with me in paradise."
Really big statue in front of the church. That church is gorgeous.
I got up yesterday.
Jesus is taken down from the cross. The sky is dark. The crowd has dispersed. Joseph of Arimathea takes Jesus down from his cross and gently places him in the waiting arms of his mother. With what love she holds her son next to her breaking heart. No parent should outlive their child. Jesus is laid in the tomb. After what must have seemed but a moment to Mary,
Ven para acá, Rosy.
Arimathea and Nicodemus came and took his body from the arms of his mother. They bound it with burial cloths and spices. Now in the place where he had been crucified, there was a garden, and in the garden a new tomb, in which no one had yet been buried. And so Joseph and Nicodemus, with aching hearts, lovingly carried Jesus to the tomb. They laid him there with utmost care. And then it was time to depart. How difficult it must have been in those final moments. Imagine that mother, so full of sorrow. They saw it was empty, and the burial cloths were rolled up by themselves. They saw, and they believed. We now ask that you... Appearances. When he had risen early on the first